before I even start. Look at my shirt. I'm so happy about it. It's from the website Rebel and Fleur, so if you want to go check out their website, I'll leave it in the description bar below. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jo. If you're not here, then you're not here. That makes no sense. So we have come to the illustrious middle of the year. So I figured that it was high time to do my mid-year book freakout tag, which I am so excited about. So instead of just merely doing the tag, I figured that I would continue on with my little series that I started about a month ago of react and redo. We're going to react. We're not going to. I'm going to. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to be reacting to my mid-year book freakout tag from June 27th, 2018. So it's gonna be fun. So let's just get right into it before I make a further fool of myself, because I feel it coming on. I feel it and I cannot avoid it.
Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Jo and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I have not done this tag before. Looks like it was created in 2015, so that's probably why I haven't done this tag before. Question number 1 is the best book that you have read so far in 2018. So I got to look in my Goodreads because I don't remember.
First of all, these shelves look way more similar to my shelves now. Also, I just realized that I have not addressed the fact that I shaved my head. In between the last react video and this react video, at some point, I shaved my head. If you were doubting my badassery before, you cannot do so now. Okay, let's just continue.
So I cannot pick like a number 1, so I'm gonna pick like
of course you can't.
5.
Of course you are.
Maybe 4. I don't know. Maybe, my favorite graphic novel that I read this year was Rat Queens Volume 1, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. It's in the tight box over there, and I'm not gonna mess with that box because I can't get them in and out peacefully, so what can you do? The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. It's surrealism. It's super, super awesome. There's a magical bird involved. Excuse me. Ray Bradbury, get your ass out of the way.
I still really love Rat Queens. I never continue on with the series, but I really did love that first volume. And I still love Brandon Sanderson. I don't read his books much anymore. So question number 1 is the best book you've read so far in 2022. Did not even struggle to answer this question. The best book that I've read so far in 2022 is Manacled by Sin-Lin Yu. Obviously, this is a fan fiction. This is following kind of like an alternate reality in which our favorite babes from the Harry Potter series actually lost the war to Lord Voldemort, and this is set after pretty much all of the characters we know and love have died, and Voldemort is beginning to implement a Handmaid's Tale type situation in which our main woman, Hermione Granger, is given to Draco Malfoy and his wife as a sex slave kind of incubator of babies of sorts, because the full-blooded magic users are having issues having children. This is a very dark story. This story made me feel all the feelings. I was happy, I was sad, I was disgusted, I was horrified, but in the end, we did get our happily ever after, and it was such a struggle to get there, babes. It was so difficult. Even if you don't like fan fiction, I would still highly recommend that you check this out. If the triggers in this do not affect you, but it is a absolutely beautiful, gorgeous story, and I genuinely don't think anything is gonna beat this. And I read this at the very beginning of the year, like in January. Yeah, let's just continue, or this is going to be a manacled video.
Question number 2 is best sequel you've read so far in 2018. The Heart of Darkness. No, not The Heart of Darkness. The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. It's the second book in the Remnant Chronicles. It was amazing. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars.
That's hilarious. I still hate The Heart of Darkness. I am unhauling that bitch. It is time to go. What Jo of 2018 did not know is that she would have to read that book 2 more times in her life before she could let it go. So the best sequel that I've read in 2022 so far, this was a little bit difficult because I found as I was going through my Goodreads that I haven't really read that many sequels. A lot of the things that I tend to read tend to be kind of companion novels within a same series. One sequel that I do want to mention is Bound by Tiffany Roberts. This is the 3rd book in the Spider's Mate trilogy. It's alien, it's monster. You think it's gonna be weird, but it's so good. Catan is such an amazing hero. He is so sweet, he is so caring, and I love him so much. And I really like the way the story kind of progressed as the series went on. I want the physical copies. I don't own them yet. If you have not read the Spider-Mate trilogy and you're wanting to maybe dip your toes in some alien, maybe some monster, as long as you're not arachnophobic, check it out. It's so good. And you would think it would be weird, and it is a little bit weird at first, but it makes you want a Catan of your own. I'm questioning my sanity as well, but that book is so good.
Question number 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to. Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Everybody has been loving this book. It's a West African inspired fantasy novel that I have not read anything that's West African inspired. So excited.
Okay, so I did read Children of Blood and Bone. I think I read it that year. I'm not completely sure, but I did really love it, and I did not like the second book as much. I'm not sure if there's like a 3rd book. I'm not quite informed of that, but I did read it, and it was really good. And if you like YA fantasy, definitely check it out. A new release that I have yet to read this year in 2022, but I want to, Wicked Beauty by Katie Roberts. This just came out in June, I believe. This is the 3rd book in her Dark Olympus series. It is following Achilles, Patroclus, and Helen. So we're gonna see what that's about. Apparently it's a throuple. I'm really excited about that. I read Electric Idol earlier this year, and bitch, it was so good. It made my heart flutter. I have high expectations, and I'm gonna be very sad if I don't like it, but I still want to read it this year. Yes.
4 is, excuse me, why is everybody messaging me? Question number
I don't know,
4
you're
is
just
most
popular.
Question number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. If you're wondering why I'm looking over here, obviously because my laptop is over here. It's just chilling with my marble case. I absolutely love marble. Anyway, that is a story for another day. My most anticipated release for the second half of the year is The Ladies' Guide to Piracy and Petticoats, Petticoats and Piracy, the second one in the Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I'm so excited. It's coming out in like October.
That is hilarious. I was so freaking excited. Obviously, I was so freaking excited for that book. I am now unhauling Gentleman's Guide. It's in that pile. And I never read, what is it? Ladies' Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. I never read it. I never even picked it up, never even thought about it after making this video. So my most anticipated releases of 2022 are Anastasia by Sophie Lark, which is coming out in December. I love the story of Anastasia, and I love fantasy romance, so I'm so excited for that. Another one that I'm really looking forward to is Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett St. Clair, which is coming out on December 27th. So pretty much December is thebomb.com. And then another one that I'm really looking forward to is Resting Witch Face by Juliet Cross. 5th book in the Stay a Spell series. That is one of my favorite series that I've read this year. So excited for that. So excited.
Question number 5 is biggest disappointment, and I actually just filmed a review for this book, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I've never read a book with an autistic character in it, so that was really cool, but the romance part of it, which was the 97% of it, was very cliche, and I didn't really like it. But if you want to go check out that video, if it's up,
you can check it out. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. But it's funny because I had someone comment on that video not too long ago pretty much saying, oh, I really like the romance, and I had to comment back pretty much saying, this was 4 years ago. I think it's funny because my main critique in that whole review was that there was too much spice, which now all I read is spice, so it's very ironic. We've come full circle. But that is one book that I think I might give another shot to. I wish I still owned it, but I unhauled that bitch, and it is gone. So my most disappointing book that I've read so far this year is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I hesitantly say this because for some reason for me, the Crescent City series is not 100% my jam. And when I picked this up, it took me probably 400 pages to really get into it. The end was fantastic. I really, really love the end, and I'm so excited to see what is going to be next for this world. However, it took me so long to get into. There's so many things that just made me personally cringe, and a lot of the times the characters didn't really feel badass or anything like that. They kind of just felt like frat boys drunk at a party. I am still going to be continuing on with the series, obviously. I really like the ending, and I'm excited to see where the series goes. For such a big book, I mean, it's like, what, 800 pages? Half of it, I was bored to tears, and it took me forever to get into it, so I'm so sorry, Hosab. And that feels like sacrilege to say while I'm wearing my Hi Ladies shirt, but still.
Question number 6 is biggest surprise. I mean, we could go with The Kiss of Deception again. Literally, I was about to unhaul that series because I just hadn't read it. Like, I've had it for over a year. I hadn't read it. Decided to pick it up. Holy cow. Biggest surprise of the year, probably.
My biggest surprise of the year, I could mention Manacled again because it is a fan fiction and I hadn't really delved deep into fan fiction since I was in high school. If you know the After series by Anna Todd, I was reading that bitch when she was still releasing chapters one at a time. I was feral for that story. I obviously had this really big prejudice against fan fiction, and Manacled has completely broken that prejudice. I think it's amazing. But we can also mention another one of my favorites. Let's just do that. So another one of my biggest surprises of the year is Wolfgang Wilde by Juliet Cross. My good friend Jenn over at the Book Refuge recommended this to me last year, and I saw the cover. I didn't like the cover, and I thought that it was not going to be spicy. I thought it was going to be cheesy. I was like, why are you recommending this to me? And I never read it. And then a couple months ago, she was like, Jo, have you read Wolfgang Wilde? Because I told you to read it and you didn't, I don't think, so you need to read it. So I did, and it was so good. I cannot tell you how much I love this series. Wolfgang Wilde is probably still my top favorite in the series, just because I connected to it so much. This series is following the Savoy sisters, who are a family of witches in New Orleans, and this first book is following Evie Savoy, who is a hexbreaker, and Mateo, our beautiful werewolf, who has a curse or a hex or whatever put on him to where he cannot shift. You get Evie and her delicious dorkiness, you get Mateo and his delicious dorkiness, and then you get Alpha in Mateo's head, who is deliciously dirty nasty, and I love it. This first book has so much dorky nerd like stuff in it. They talk about Marvel, they talk about DC and comics, and I loved it so much. Woo! All right, let's just move on. Let's move on, or I'm just gonna keep on talking.
Number 7 is favorite new author, debut or new to you? I would say Emily X.R. Pan, who wrote, you know, The Astonishing Color of After, which is just chilling right there. I would also say Mary E. Pearson, obviously, Kiss of Deception. I would also say Patricia Briggs, who wrote the Mercy Thompson series.
I'm unhauling the Emily X.R. Pan book, and it just keeps popping up in this video. Anyways, I still like the Remnant Chronicles. I know I mentioned it so many times in this video. I still like the Remnant Chronicles. It's fine. I haven't read it in years. We're gonna move on. So my favorite new authors that I have come across in the year of 2022 are Sophie Lark, number 1. I have pretty much read the majority of her backlist. I still have a couple of books left to read, but I went on a binge of Sophie Lark, I think in April, I don't remember. I love her romances. I love everything that she creates. I just recently read The Savage in the past week, which is the last book in the Kingmaker series. She writes such good romance. They just have so much chemistry, and it's delicious. I eat her books up. Another one of my new favorite authors is obviously Miss Juliet Cross. I have only currently read the 4.5 books in the Stay a Spell series, if you count the novella collection. I absolutely love them. I love her romances. I love her characters. The Savoy sisters, I would die for them, babe. And I love the couples in those books. I love the magic. I love the spice. She is so good at dirty talk, let me tell you. Those are probably my top 2 new to me authors that I've read this year.
Question number 8 is newest fictional crush. I don't really have fictional crushes.
Girl, you lie. You are lying through your teeth, bitch. Somebody's pants are on fire, and I'm pretty sure it's Jo from 2018. So let's talk about my newest fictional crushes, because I am no longer ashamed to talk about that. These are in no particular order, but Number 1, Darius Acrux from the Zodiac Academy series. I'm doing monthly vlogs every month reading Zodiac Academy for the first time, and I love that man. He is so scrumdiddlyumptious. He's a dragon shifter. He is long, tan, and handsome. I love him so much. He's yummy. Number 2, Snow from Snow. I don't know what it was about this book, but this book has stuck with me. Sophie Lark. Maybe it's just that I have a thing for boxers beating people up. I have no idea, but he is scrumdiddlyumptious, and I love him so much. I have so many. Catan from Spider's Mate. Love that man. He is so sweet. He is a little prickly because he is a Spider-Man, a literal Spider-Man, but he can be your superhero, baby, okay? I can be your hero, baby. Okay. That was awkward for both of us. We're just gonna move on. Next is Elliot Broderick and Alistair from Deceived by the Gargoyles, which I just recently read. This is by Lillian Lark. It is a reverse harem. I love all 3 of them. They're all delicious.
You know what I mean? Like I used to when I was like 14, but now whenever a romance is in the book, like I want them to be together.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This bitch is a liar. This bitch is lying.
Question number 9 is newest favorite character, Leah from The Kiss of Deception, the Remnant Chronicles. She is so unbelievably strong. She's so intelligent and smart.
Okay, let's talk about new favorite character. Sabrina Gallo from The Savage by Sophie Lark. I love that bitch. She is so impulsive and wild and crazy, and I just think that she is so much fun. Tori and Darcy Vega from the Zodiac Academy series. I think that they're both intelligent and fun in their own ways. Can we say Snow again? He's delicious.
Question number 10 is a book that made you cry.
Moving right along.
Actually gonna have to consult Goodreads for this because I don't remember. The Perks of Being a Wallflower made me cry.
Yep,
Letters
still
to
my
the
favorite book.
Lost made me cry.
No,
The Final
getting rid of that.
Empire made me cry.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Perks of Being a Wallflower is still probably my favorite book of all time, but we're not going to talk about it right now. The book that made me cry the most recently was My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is a really, really dark story. It is not a romance. It is about sexual assault, rape, grief, PTSD, a lot of different things, and it is following 2 different time periods. One set when our main character Vanessa is 15 and she has caught the eye of one of her teachers at a boarding school that she is now attending, and the inappropriate relationship and the grooming and things like that that happen as a result of that. And the second time period that we follow is Vanessa in 2017, in which another girl who went to that boarding school after she did is now coming forward and accusing this man of the same sort of deal, and how she deals with it, and her PTSD from what happened, and her struggling to grapple with the fact that she was abused at 15. This story is so dark and disgusting and horrifying. It's a very important story, but at the end, I was sobbing. I sobbed for hours because of this book. I woke up with a migraine because of this book. You've been warned.
Book that made you happy. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue made me so immensely happy. I loved that book. It's one of my favorite books that I read this year. It's absolutely hilarious.
I find it so funny that the books that I am now unhauling, they just keep popping up, and it's so sad. Talking about My Dark Vanessa just got me into a mood. Okay, let's talk about a book that made me happy. Wolfgang Wilde. All of the emotions, all of the happy emotions. I laughed. I just died. This made me feel all the warm fuzzies inside. I absolutely love this book. Electric Idol by Katie Robert. I also got all the warm fuzzies, all the butterflies, all the smiles, all the blushes. Love that book so much.
The most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. So the most beautiful book that I've bought this year has to be a tie between Girl Made of Stars and The Astonishing Color of After. I love the colors on these covers, and the most gorgeous book that I've received is my 10th anniversary edition of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss.
Girl Made of Stars is absolutely a gorgeous cover. Those are some good choices, Joe. Good job. The most beautiful book that I have bought or received this year. Number 1, the Zodiac Academy series. it's up there. I absolutely love those covers. They have the zodiac signs on them. They're colorful. They're scrumdiddlyumptious. I love them so much. Another one that I want to mention is the Stay a Spell series, which I know I said before that I did not like these covers. I didn't like them at first, but now I really like them. I think that they really represent what is going on in the book without making it, you know, super obvious. Another one that I want to mention is Manacled, which you saw earlier. I made it. I made that bitch. So it obviously needs to be at the #1 spot of the #1 beautiful book that I have. It's not perfect. She's not perfect, but she's beautiful to me, okay? She's beautiful to me.
What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I want to finish out the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson by reading The Hero of Ages. I want to finish that. I want to read Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I've been dying to read that lately. I obviously want to read like Children of Blood and Bone and all that stuff.
I read all of those. Pat me on the back. The books that I need to read by the end of this year, I really want to read the rest of the Zodiac Academy series, which I am. I'm reading one a month. We're gonna get there. I also really want to read the Plated Prisoners series by Raven Kennedy. Is that who it's by? I'm not sure. I'm not good with names. And another one that I want to finish up is the Fae Guardian series by Lana P. And I really, really love that series. It's so much fun. But yeah, that was my react and redo to my mid-year book freakout tag from 2018. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys next time.